The following show contains a fictional narrative that includes themes, events, and language that some may find distressing. Discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of This Line Isn't Secure. I'm Libby, the King of Funk. It's good to see all of you here today, as usual, and we are so happy to present more funk. Let's start in the top left, and we'll go. Ty, hit us with those sweet, sweet introductions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sydney Sweeney, also known as Ty, also known as Agent Millstone, also known as Agent Stephen Charles back in the day. Who knows if I'm still using that alias? And I'm going to hand it over to Charlie.
Hey folks, Charlie here, Agent Meridian, also known as Adam Blackburn.
Hey all, this is Andy. I play Dr. Alexander Shoemaker, codename Agent Merchant.
And I am Hawk, playing Agent Miranda, Heather Stoddard, doing all the computer business that needs to be done.
Nice. So good to have everybody here today. I'm very excited to begin our show, and as always, Hawk, give us that nice recap.
Absolutely. So, after a lovely Greek meal and a meeting with their handler, M-Cell found themselves pursued by a large group of people in fumigation gear. They escaped from the parking lot into a nearby housing development by passing through some small shrubs and trees, where they took cover, hiding from their pursuers, although not everyone did as good a job hiding across the cell. Cornered by the fugitives, Merchant and Millstone were both exposed to a sticky red substance. At this time, the pursuers started repeating the patsu, instead of what they had previously been saying, and it seemed like both Merchant and Millstone were having strange visions or hallucinations for a moment. And in fact, Millstone assaulted a stranger trying to take their backpack, seeing them as something altogether unreal. The fumigators seemed uninterested in us after having exposed two of our number to this substance, and they departed on a Boston PD bus, which we found was registered to a particular detective who had a behavioral report out after an incident between herself and another detective. That other detective, Detective Barbas, being placed on administrative leave as a result. From there, we caught a taxi, sadly, back to our hotel, and we met a familiar voice on that ride. An old man with wisdom that seemed impossible spoke with Merchant and Millstone and Meridian. Helping guide them, the night manager tried to calm them, tried to guide them along their path as we begin Operation India Moon, an investigation into the disappearance of 5 Delta Green agents from a nearby mental facility called the Dorchester House. And that is where we left off, pouring out of that taxi and into our rooms, where we went about our own particular rituals to calm ourselves. Writing, cleaning weaponry, reviewing notes, and a little bit of model arson. Well, maybe. That's how I remember it, at least.
The light coming through the windows of your current residence is a welcome change from the darkness that you feel like follows you no matter where you go. A certain part of you doesn't care if the light is artificial or if it's natural, organic. Just the absence of darkness is really what matters. And maybe you'll explore that thought, the idea that the absence of darkness is not always light. But not right now. You're all tired. You sit up groggy, certainly. And begin to kind of have your morning, understanding that you have undoubtedly begun traversing down the path toward whatever existed in the McAllister, whatever was the McAllister, whatever lived there or died there. You're on a straight shot for that graveyard. And so, I guess, wash your face, take your shower, eat your continental breakfast, and begin the trek to the absence of light. In this morning, your routine that you're all doing, I imagine you kind of maybe all gather after completing the essentials for a quick little powwow, so to speak, to discuss. What would you like to do this morning? What would be the team's thoughts?
I think trying to cluster around a small table wherever we can get breakfast. I think you mentioned there was breakfast at the hotel, so probably in some corner there, and picking over small amounts of food. Miranda will say, we should do our initial reconnaissance before we hit the Dorchester. I want to do a little bit of digital research on our folks. My hope is I'll be able to get some medical records, so I'd appreciate if Merchant, you could assist with that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Great. And I think it'd be a good idea to get a physical look at the Dorchester. I might be able to pull some floor plans, but I would like to know what we're going into, or what it seems like we're going into from the outside. If we can have an architectural understanding before we go in, it might mean that we can be better attuned to when things are misaligned with expectations, if that occurs again.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to scope the place out, maybe talk to a few people that work there, that live there. I think me and the big guy can handle it.
Ready to go.
Merch, I'll see you back in my hotel room.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get a little more coffee. That's all.
Pushing the chairs away from the table, the clinking of plates and silverware, and the sound of trash bag being emptied and taken away. You've even got a nice view of a child that's overfilled the turning waffle maker, and is kind of panicking. You maybe feel a moment of desire, hoping that someday something as simple as a waffle maker overfilled will be worthy of panic. But did you make your way out of the breakfast area back to your room? Millstone and Meridian kind of gather your whatever things you'd like to take with you.
Just the conceal carry.
Okay, got it. And then Merchant and Miranda, you kind of like push some desks together, hook up to the you make sure you have an Ethernet port in the room so you can hook up to the internet that's there, and Miranda's doing more finding of the data, and Merchant's doing more kind of parsing and turning the data into intelligence. Why don't we do this? Why don't we? I'll just get a roll from the Miranda Merchant duo on how your search is. So I guess search probably for Miranda. I'd be okay with computer science as well if you want to go that route. Merchant.
Oh, I'm definitely better at one of those. For computer science, that's 57 under 70.
Nice. Yeah, Merchant, if you wanted to do, I mean, I think most of these records are probably medical in nature, so I mean, I'd be happy if any, whatever.
Medicine?
Yeah, that'd be okay.
We got a 13 under 60 for medicine.
You don't find very little, which it doesn't really surprise you. These are Delta Green agents, so the idea that they would be, have large presences online is pretty small. But you do manage to find it, what looks like an internal audit kind of document that got done, and the members of this group that are missing of the agents, they're on this document, and it really is the only thing that you're finding a lot of information about. Maybe there's some facade Facebooks and some hardly maintained Instagrams that don't really seem to have photos that are of real people. But in reality, this document you find, it's like a house patient file, like a psychiatric evaluation. You find that amongst all of them, deep within the web, deep within the internet. Libby is not well versed, but perhaps Miranda. I mean, Miranda certainly is more well versed.
Yes.
Finds these.
When that pops up on the screen, Merchant. Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I see a billion of these.
Yeah, this is someone, it looks like, did an archive of all their emails to a private server and didn't keep up some of their payments, so I was able to dig it out.
For our auditory viewers, auditory listeners here, we've got this document. Looks like it's been printed out from kind of like a dot matrix or an older system. It's a record pulled on 8/28 of 2015 of the Dorchester House patient files. Is a psychiatric evaluation dossier. This has got the 5 people that are missing. They're on there. Some information, basic information about their age and their background, when they were admitted, their diagnoses, and occupation, well, former occupation or current occupation, then last known address, case ID. You may skim and ask as you see fit about this document.
So Miranda starts to rattle off things she is noticing on her first skim. She's more focused on the personal information than the medical detail. But she says, looks like they weren't admitted at the same time. And like I thought, Diasa's a doctor. I did find a medical license, but it's, I don't know, it's something was off about it. I'm not super versed in how those look, but definitely seemed like that might have been part of a cover. I'm not sure if he had to go through some kind of witness protection like effort, but looks like 8/28/15 absence for all of them.
That squares with what we were told, for sure.
Although, did you see the entry for Prutoth down here? Group therapy 08/28/15. Witnesses claim subject. It looks like it's been partially redacted.
Entered wall.
Entered wall.
Entered wall.
Yeah,
That's
not a good start.
no, but
Mass unreachable entities. Somebody wears a mask. This all, this lines up a little bit with some of what we were seeing previously. How does the dosage and diagnosis look to you?
I mean, a little surprising that we're seeing PTSD diagnoses. That's still a pretty emerging science, but we're looking at, this is all pretty standard stuff.
Could it be intentionally obscured? I mean, a lot of these have hallucinatory features or paranoia attached. It could be that when the program got them admitted, they obscured the diagnosis somewhat. If they're experiencing, I mean, I'm not a doctor, but it's not that far of a stone's throw from some of these things to the other.
Right. Yeah. So Stanley Harrison, schizoaffective.
Okay.
We have Cal Diasa, dissociative identity disorder.
That's multiple personality, right?
That multiple personalities in there. It looks like this person had one named, looks like Horace, but it's obscured. That is a different speech cadence that happens with dissociative identity. We have Lila Mack is acute psychosis with paranoia. Apparently she's being haunted in her dreams. We have
cross-reference Camilla as well. See if I can get any hits on that name. It's not familiar to me. Is it any of the reading that you've done?
It's not a name in the literature, but I think it is notable that, I mean, she's making artwork that looks very, she's probably exhibiting some art therapy and but all of her art is masked humanoids in Victorian garb, and the artwork is tagged to another operation. So it sounds like no matter what is happening with her, it's something that they're familiar with, which of course they didn't tell us about. But next, Kim Plaslid, major depression, but not taking medication for like a super depressed state. It's a pretty low dose.
Okay.
But again, it also has some other major depression with something. And then finally, Thomas Prutoth, PTSD with hallucinatory features, it looks like. And he seems to describe a follower. We got to dive deeper, of course, but over the past 20 years, they call me the shopkeeper. And I go in, I visit agents who have come back from missions, and I assess whether they're capable of coming back into kind of reintegrating into normal life. And so I test them, I diagnose, and I don't know how else to say it, but this is normal. Stanley Harrison, to be clear, he's drawing constant diagrams and spiral motifs. That lines up with the idea of the tornado.
Yeah, absolutely. Central motif we've seen so far.
corridor diagrams, he might be trying to map out what he saw.
Yeah.
And trying to remember what he saw.
If he's on any part of the night floors or remembers them. Two notes that are standing out to me. I don't know that I can get much out of the wider world, and I don't want to run it up the pole. There's under Lila Mack, there's a note that her artwork was tagged to an operation file.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It seems like they've experienced this, but they're not telling us.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the first. We're clearly not the last to experience things like this.
This doesn't look like it's... I mean, it is a document that they clearly drafted up about these folks and then put into this archive. Maybe they were removing it from their internal servers or hiding it or trying to. But this almost had to have been done by our friendly if it's tagged to an operation, right?
Friendlies don't necessarily know operational details. They're just someone that we can count on to be a little more forthcoming.
If that's the case, then I'm worried that someone there may be a confounding effect of something here, because if someone else is tagging things to operations, whether that's our friendly and they know more than they should, or it's someone else working there who tagged something to an operation, that suggests that they may be working for a larger or separate concern. So just something to be aware of. That note is a little unusual. And then the other one.
Maybe keep that away. Maybe keep that to yourself around Meridian for a few moments.
Yeah, no doubt. The former FBI, Plassad, temperature above baseline of her room. That had to be significantly above baseline for people to notice it when they entered, right? They're not going to just check the temperature when the room is missing. So we've got to assume that's a 5 to 10 degree jump in temperature for people to notice it when they enter the room. That's a significant thermal exchange, right? So that suggests something really overt and unsubtle happening there.
For sure. And of course, it looks like Thomas Prutoth entered the wall.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping they mean door out of nowhere and not walked through solid matter, because one of those we have a pattern for and the other one is novel, and I would prefer things to stick to patterns.
There's a lot here. So we have the rooms are heating up. We have witnesses. We have one witness disappearance. The rest just disappeared. Cal Diasa, no signs of egress.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Harrison looks like he moved into a corridor and there's just no more data.
Yeah. Entered an unmonitored corridor, used that unmonitored space to drop off the face of the world.
Yeah. Exit data missing. Lila
that
Mack
one might have
appeared. No data about that.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Plaslid, room was empty during the vitals check, and you note well that it was warm in there. And then Thomas Prutoth walked into a wall.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take some notes down in some shorthand. We'll destroy what we've got here. Otherwise, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cross-reference Camilla. And then I'm also going to do a double check on their cover identities and their last known locations on file, just see if there's anything else I can dredge up, but I don't have high hopes for that.
Do you remember the artwork because you did a lot of the art stuff back in New York. Do you remember a lot of those pieces? I
remember a few of them. I could do a comparative analysis if we had a piece in front of us. My memory of some of them is sharper than others. It's mostly motifs. The mediums are also going to be pretty different here. A lot of collage on the former artwork, which you're not going to have access to in a mental facility.
Right, for sure. A lot of different inks and paints won't be available. But I'm seeing, people in masks, Victorian time.
Well, that aligns with some early experiences I had around the time. Some dreams and sort of presentiment before the event, potentially ripples from this tornado or whatever, and it frankly also aligns with, I think, some of what we saw on the death report of the original owner of the McAllister. He was reported as being in those robes in a mask, and there's also some indication that there were some sort of dated outfits on some of that artwork we saw, the portraits. So quite potentially linked directly to the floors and not to the sort of external manifestations that we were seeing in other places. No dog,
Right.
no clown, but we'll keep an eye out.
Right. That we know of. Right. And bottles, but we got to look for bottles.
Yeah. No doubt.
So we'll take some notes. Destroy this stuff. That sounds really good. I'll compare this against some of my old case files. See if anything shows up that I wouldn't expect. Symptoms I wouldn't expect. Because unfortunately, watching someone enter the wall could be a shared hallucination.
Yeah. True.
So I'll take a look, and then when we get there, we can make a case, right? That we need to see everything, which will include their art therapy, which they will keep.
Good.
So,
Okay. I'll see what I can dredge up from my my memory about the old art. See if I can't do some of that comparative analysis when we get there.
Great. I'll take some notes too, and we'll just. It's good to be working with you again.
Likewise, Merch. I appreciate it.
While they get to working, Merchant will kind of, I remembered, I forgot my notepad, and go over to the other side of the room and write down Caldiasa described cities underwater. And then he'll write underneath the flood, tear that page off, crinkle it up, and if
Miranda's in the zone.
Miranda's
He's,
not paying attention,
Hunched over the laptop again, running through some stuff.
he'll take that piece of paper with the flood written on it and put it in his mouth and slowly begin to chew.
Roll luck.
29.
Yeah, you managed to chew quietly. Something that my wife wishes I could do, but I can't. So you
Difficult.
But when you're done chewing, you go,
let's.
I put the miss in misophonia.
Yeah, you do manage to chomp quietly on the paper. There was no sign of Miranda hearing anything that you.
And while he chews, he thinks about whether this is the flood or if this is the world without doors, and also the possibility that maybe this is a connection to his childhood, and maybe this will help him make sense of his world. And so he's both bearing the shame, but also internalizing that part of the case and wondering, is this for me or is this something else entirely? But it's definitely a motif that when he read it, he pretended he couldn't read that redacted portion that said cities underwater, and just skipped it. And his reading quickly was part of hoping Miranda didn't catch that part and move to something else.
Miranda, you're just doing like a quick cross-reference on Camilla, is that right? And
Yeah, there's 3 things that she's going to double check. She double checks the name Camilla, seeing if she can find anything in reference to that name in records from the area. She's going to double check for, again, Caldiasa's medical license, because that in particular is a thing that's kind of often hard to fake. And then she's also just going to double check and see if cross-referencing their names against their last known locations produces any additional information. So lots of sort of grunt work, check newspapers, check searches, check website, like just poke around until they get an update from Meridian and Millstone.
typically, I am not the kind of guy that has you make multiple rolls, but this is an important thing. So roll another computer science for me, please.
That is an 11 under 70.
Yee-hoo! Sounds good. Yeah, you definitely have a tough time with any of the medical stuff. A lot of it's like locked behind HIPAA bullshit. However, you do find you kind of like search deeply through the web, says Libby, as trying to find anything about Camilla that you can, and you find a very odd looking. It looks almost more like a shrine than a website. There's really only this front page that you land on. There's many.
Took the other 3 links at the top there.
Yeah, no, they're not linked to anything. You click on them
Gotcha.
and they just route you. It refreshes the page. They route you back to the page you're on.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So for our audio listeners, there's just kind of words all over. I don't love.
Would you like me to read it as if it were a poem?
Go ahead. I think that will be very valuable.
Princess Camilla is calling from lost somewhere. The yellow timeline, messages in the mirror. Contemplate her radiance. I adore you, Camilla. Her song pierces the night. Are you listening? Why pay King Stoppin? It is all her design. Fear is for fools. I dreamt of her forever. I dreamt of her. Look to the west. It is all her design. Yeah, there's a Celtic knot, some 8s, an infinity symbol, and then very centrally located a yellow tinge photo of edit of a woman in period gown, probably Victorian, long brown hair down past her shoulder and ringlets. She's sort of looking almost straight towards the portrait taker. She has kind of difficult to make out some of her features and her jawline because Fears for Fools has been placed directly over that image.
While she's doing that and I'm done consuming the note, I'll just kind of be fiddling around and pick up that cell phone, that like brick from the 90s, the Zach Morris phone. And Miranda, have you taken a look at this?
No, but I can crack the case if you want.
I mean, I wonder if there's a bug in the phone.
You know, now that you've said it out loud, from your lips to somebody's ears. Yeah, bring it over here. She goes over to the bed and pulls out a duffel and sets it down next to the computers and starts pulling out a soldering gun, adhesives, a box cutter, or small screwdriver set, glasses repair kit basically, and starts taking the phone apart.
Okay.
While she's doing that, Merchant will look over at the screen and see the Camilla site and copy it onto a page of his notebook paper. All the sentences, their location, just copy the whole thing over.
Let's get another luck roll from you on that one, Andy, and let's how about your character search, Hawk? It'd be alertness. Sorry, you're not actively looking,
Okay.
Andy.
My alertness is 50, my search is 27, my craft microelectronics is 60.
What'd you roll?
18.
Yeah, you yet again correctly see that Heather's all the way in, Miranda's all the way in on this phone. You're fine. You get a pretty good. You're no artist,
Yeah.
but you get a pretty good.
He's not trying to hide it either. It's for him. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
case note.
Okay.
It's a case note.
Okay.
Did you assume that he was eating
He's
it?
gonna eat it. Gonna eat it.
Yeah, no. Well, I didn't know if he was writing it down like he was trying to hide the fact that he was copying this thing.
No. I'll. Yeah.
So you do pretty easily get this injected molded plastic, case open, and so as soon as you kind of put, taking liberties, and perhaps Miranda's a little out of practice opening old phones. You see that when it pops open, from within the phone, all that comes out is just a bunch of dirt and rocks and maybe a couple of weeds. There's a green glass vial. Yeah, there's a in the dirt, it kind of falls in there. There is a little golden bug, tiny, very small.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know that we're gonna get any leads on this, but you want to do entomology or Egyptology while we wait for the others to report back?
Hang on. There's dirt inside a phone. I would love a sand roll.
Oh, sure.
I'm assuming you at least some point saw that it does. You saw that there was a battery indicator that was turned on. Whatever.
Oh, sure.
Right.
It had indications of exterior functionality. I see what you mean. Yeah. So I'm currently at 59, and I rolled a 58 on the money today.
And that'll do it. Okay. What about our resident sanity expert?
Oh god. I was kind of hoping I missed it. Yeah. No. Of course not. 95 over 53.
Cool.
No luck.
You lose 2 sand.
2.
There is also a leaf in the vial as well, a very small, healthy looking green leaf. It looks like it's, still got some life in it. Yeah.
Okay, that's the second time we've got an electronic that functions despite internal irregularities. Not great, but I don't know enough about soil to say jack shit about it. Do you want me to gather it up, run it over to the nearest university, see if I can find an entomologist and a geologist?
Sorry, I'm still waking up a little bit. What was that? What?
Oh,
Yeah, whatever you need to do. Yeah, that's fine.
Merch, are you do you want to talk about this? The phone?
No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Just Bugs
Okay.
grossed me out a little bit. Just
Oh,
no big
sure.
deal.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Looks
All right,
like a scarab for our listeners, like a scarab, like a golden scarab. Little, obviously smaller
Yeah,
than I think.
Listen, you've got a lot of stuff to do. Let me face my fear of the bug. I'll take care of the bug thing.
Okay. Take the soil with you. Gather it up. I will put the phone back together for what it's worth. Photos first of the bug, the soil. Take them with you to whatever academics you can find. If you can find if there's like a farming organization, an ag college, they'll know about the soil as well. If you want them to test anything there. I don't know that we'll get any leads, but we've got time to burn while Millstone and Meridian are out. And then I will cross-reference everything we've got against Egyptology. We've got a Horus mention in here, and that's a familiar name. So I'll see if there's anything with
Scarabs.
Horus and Scarabs. Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yes, for sure. No doubt.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I know some folks in the science departments. I can flash my real life credentials and probably get in.
Great. Well, I will just I'll comb my way through all of the wackadoodle websites and see if there's anything about Horus and spirals, or
Yeah.
I'm sure corridors and masks are going to come up at some point, but I'll see what I can find in the labyrinth.
Yeah, don't get lost in there.
Wouldn't be the first time, but I'll keep my head on straight.
Excellent.
All right.
See you soon.
I think that, So just to be clear, Merchant, you're leaving to go to find.
Yeah, I'm gonna call up a Lyft or Uber to Boston College or wherever's closest, and I do have a science biology of 60, if that's helpful with any of the.
You're trying to identify the bug.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So your biology does not tell you. I mean, it looks like a small scarab, but they're never as shiny gold as this. This is it looks like it's plated with gold. So, very odd. It's clearly alive, by the way. It's like flying around in there and landing on the plant and then moving around some more.
So it is a metal plated bug that is continuing to fly.
Yeah, seems like a little. Yeah.
That's really great. I'm really excited about that.
However, the plant, that you could certainly identify the plant if you want to, which is kind of what you've got with your biology. It is called a hellebore. I believe the plant is known for all of them are toxic. All of the Helleborus genus, species, all of them are toxic. They have basically they were utilized for, but the Greeks and Romans used them to treat paralysis or psychosis. It's believed that Hippocrates used it as a quote purgative to make one purge the humors that were unaligned. Not a whole lot that you're aware of. Perhaps some folk reference or some folk usage, but that's not your lane, I don't think. So
No.
Yeah.
The history of it, maybe not as much. Is it native to the area, or am I looking at something that's not?
It is native to Europe, but it's commonly grown in gardens all over the United States because it's pretty frost resistant. A lot of them are evergreen, actually.
Gotcha.
Accurate. Indeed accurate.
All right.
So it's not whoa, but it's not there's no garden here nearby necessarily. You know what I mean? It's fine.
Well, somehow this leaf got into a vial.
Yeah.
But it's not this plant's been extinct for 1,000 years or something.
I have found the thing I remembered it from. It's one of the things that they say was which was used to cure Hercules' madness after he kills his children.
Yeah. It's this kind of green leafy plant, a couple of stalks as well. And Andy, what's your bureaucracy? What's your character's bureaucracy?
Bureaucracy is 50.
Yeah. So you call Boston College. There's a very important speaker that's coming in that day. All of the people that would normally be on campus, all the faculty and the professors and all that, the school is kind of shut down for that big event that's happening. Something about why animals are being treated poorly in different areas of the world, and it's this whole big kind of day-long event. And so yeah, You could probably check in tomorrow, but as far as today is concerned, you're not going to get anybody of note, and there's no one even to like give you so and so's phone number. It's just really kind of all closed down. Security is there, and that's all the workers and some janitors.
All right, cancel the Uber, and I'll report back to Miranda.
About
We'll have
that
to
time,
chase this down some other time.
Yeah, let's not go on a wild goose chase while Millstone and Meridian are waiting. So we'll wait for them to link back up and start combing through the sites, man. We gotta keep busy.
I imagine that this process of finding all these things probably took you a decent amount of time. So I'd say, about the time that you canceled the lift and go back into the hotel room, about that time the two of them return from their little mission. Meridian and Millstone. The two of you, so you said you were going to go do some reconnaissance, a little recon, right? A little scout.
Yeah, we were going to go take a little physical look at the Dorchester house.
You do so. It's not hard to find. Did you call an Uber or a Lyft, or did you end up getting a car?
How close were we to it? Weren't we very close, like our hotel?
Yeah, I think you were walkable. Yeah. You want to just walk there?
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, you both walk there. You find kind of a clean brickwork, classical, New England symmetry, very clean and orderly looking place. This is kind of the place that is meant to look like it fits in because nobody wants anyone to look closer. Got this kind of 3-story, almost like it's got like dormered windows. Windows.
Yep,
like
dormer.
Nice,
yeah,
nice like a slate roof, and this kind of wrought iron fence that's wrapping around this manicured lawn like a collar. Big sign out front, very clearly, Dorchester house. Very official, very buttoned up looking. So, but the longer you stare, the more it just kind of feels sterile. Like it's staged. There's no drawn curtains, no windows are open. There's just all this like dark glass. This place doesn't need to do anything to just creep you out or unsettle you. It just kind of already is. It's just kind of there. There's this funny thing that happens in security, or whatever, like locking places up, whether it's an installation or a camp or whatever it is. The more you make it look secure, generally speaking, it actually is. The idea that this is like huge wrought iron fence that looks very archaic. It's really tough to actually get through that fence. Like, it's not just for good looks. It's difficult. The front gate is pretty unguarded in the sense that there's one of those like nice drop bars that they have to let cars in. So I mean, like, you can get in pretty easy as a person, but as a car, it would be pretty difficult short of you having a pretty serious battering ram or big truck that had a nice like brush guard in the front or whatever. There's like houses that are a little ways away. No businesses that are close enough that you could do any like high up reconnaissance. If a house is empty, obviously, but there's nothing else you couldn't walk into a coffee bar across the street. Does not seem to be really any serious security systems. There's a couple of cameras at the gate, 1 or 2 cameras you can see on the exterior of the building, and you assume maybe the back and side have 2 more or so, but definitely sub 10 cameras outside of the building, and they all look pretty dated. They're all pretty old. Looks like they're hardline CCTV, so old but reliable generally. Likely black and white, maybe even held on VHS tape still, or some version of a cassette tape that the footage would be on.
Other than, the iron fence making like the bulk of the security itself, it's minimal, right?
Yeah, we could say as you drive by, a security guard comes out for some reason, lets somebody else in or tie a shoe, whatever. You see, and he is armed, he does have a gun, but he's wearing a very like dressy looking uniform. He's pretty portly, and so your guess here is that like a lot of show. The idea that they would ever use that is very, very little. He's probably not even shot it in the last couple of years. So that like other than these cameras and Joe Schmo and the big old fence, there's not a whole lot here. Certainly you don't see guards walking around. You would guess that probably there's some orderlies, quote unquote, that work there. Some folks that are like direct care staff that do, go hands-on, so to speak, with patients as needed to keep people safe. But security-wise, no, not a lot. Reed, do you have any angle you wanna take while doing this? Kind of drive or walk by, I guess.
If anything, I would be tapping into my high alertness to see if there's anybody following, watching, paying attention to us from a window, anything generally amiss. To which I roll 50, under 70.
You get lucky, my friend. You look behind you, very quick, brief glance behind you, and you see an older model, I think 2013 or so. 2010 Ford Escape, kind of a baby blue that's kind of pitting and rusted. You've seen this car before, you think. You're not sure exactly where, but it's definitely familiar, and it's definitely rolling pretty slowly to be having any business on this road. There's no businesses. It's like homes and then the Dorchester. So unless they live here and are watching you because they're neighborhood watch, it's weird. You feel very weird about it.
Before they can make an escape, I am going to walk over to the car, just kind of start moving toward it, not being overt about the fact that I'm going for them, but also not necessarily trying to hide it. And just, I want to get a look at the license plate.
You do an about face and turn around and see, what's your alertness again? Sorry, your passive alertness.
70.
You see someone that looks a lot like Exeter. You're not sure for sure that it is Exeter, but when you see the visage that's in the cloudy windshield, it does strike you that this vehicle was the one that you saw Exeter speed off in. So you see, as soon as you do that about face, you look at the vehicle. He does a very, very quick U-turn. In fact, you see maybe that the wheels on the far side do a little bit of a pickup in the very hasty top-heavy Ford Escape. He does that UE and he starts driving. There is something odd about his license plate. You do write it down too. You can write. I'll send it to you in a message. The numbers aren't important, but you get it. You write it down, and you also you see that there's like a bunch of stickers that are larger than the date or the year sticker that would normally be on the back of a plate, that registration tab. It's in the bottom right corner, and there's a bunch of them, and they're rectangular, and they're it looks like they're stacked. Like there's a whole chunk of some bright color on the bottom left of this license plate.
Who the fuck was that?
I think that was Exeter. I'm not totally sure, but
Did he forget to tell us something?
You want me to go ask him?
Can't really right now. He's gone.
Yeah.
Do you want to? You want to walk back to the hotel?
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you go back to the hotel. You make your way back. Maybe a good awkward silence that just kind of boils up between the two of you for that little walk back. Merchant and Miranda are both, hard at work, so to speak. Rather enveloped in the shell of information they've created as they're trying to, parse and get through all of it. I would imagine maybe that's broken a little bit by the door opening and by the two of you, walking in.
Hey.
Welcome back. Did you find anything?
No. I got a little spooked, to be honest with you. I saw probably Exeter spying on us. So got a little spooked out and decided to come back.
Yeah, that's
how is he spying on you? A remote listening device? What are we talking here?
Well, he was just he was rolling by all sussy bussy.
Mm-hmm.
Right by the Dorchester.
I've heard that said before in a non-anachronistic way, for sure.
Yeah. I heard that slang 4 years from now.
Bussy.
So he rolled by. Did you get a look at his plates?
Yeah, I did. It said something.
Let me. You're more than welcome to give the numbers and the letters over to Miranda.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and run that.
I do that.
Yeah. Yep. You get the Miranda. You get the ABC 1, 2, 3, and you run it. I assume you're running. What are you looking for? What are you running through? Just to be clear.
So I'm going to. Good question.
Not too much.
I'm
depth.
basically going to run the plate normally, and then I'm going to run the plate for tickets through whatever public systems there are in Boston for like checking on your tickets, and then I'm going to run, Exeter's a code name, but I'll double check that he's not an idiot.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, you run it. There are no parking tickets. There is a registered owner, and you search it through like a kind of reverse lookup, and so you do get the name of the owner, one Elias Barbas. You also get an address, the vehicle's place, physical place where the vehicle is kept when it's not being used. That I'll give to you as well. Again, I mean, not as important to say aloud. You have the address.
Great.
You are also able to find kind of an old driver's license photo, and it matches Exeter. This is definitely Exeter. It's maybe a little earlier picture of him, but definitely him.
Well, here's our guy.
No contact information is included. You don't get a phone number or an email, but you do get his name and an address and his photo.
Looks like
So Exeter's Barbas.
Well, I would hesitate to say that emphatically, but it is looking that way. He's registered on this car as Barbas. His ID says Barbas, but stranger things have happened so far. Does mean a connection to those fumigators, so worrying for sure. Do we want to run this back up the pole?
He's the person we run it to.
No, he's not. When we think someone's compromised, we run it to somebody else, right?
Yeah, I mean,
We don't know who that-
definitely. If
I don't
this
have a-
is Barbas, I mean, he's definitely compromised. He's been. There's documentation stating that he's been AWOL
Sure, but
for how long now?
I mean, people go off the res. That doesn't mean they're AWOL from the program. If he's AWOL from the police and the program, those are two different things. So if anyone has...
Yeah, but I mean, think about, there's a good chance that we're AWOL in a grander sense, that these
Sure.
people are AWOL in a grander sense. So,
Yeah, I don't like the connection of these fumigators get on a bus that was connected to him, and he's here watching you, but we don't have another contact in Boston. I don't get to keep people's phone numbers. I don't know what y'all's experience is, but I don't have a backup contact. He's our guy.
I don't have much going on either, but we've done enough of these now that we have prior points of contact. And there are some green boxes in the area that we were informed about when we came here. We can try and use those as a reverse drop, see if anyone gets back to us. Someone has to stalk them. I'm not saying it's our best option. I'm not even saying it's an option, frankly. I just want to check in on this one. I mean, I'm not so spooked I feel like we need to leave the reservation over this, but, wanted to check in.
What do you think, Meridian? You do more of this stuff than any of us.
I don't know. We might as well check his place out just to make sure that he's not in bed with the enemy. And if he is compromised or working for the other side, well, you just close that door and I'll take care of it.
Yeah. Understood. So we still have to go to the Dorchester. That doesn't change anything. Even if he's expecting us there.
At some point, the bill comes due, yeah.
Yeah, Miranda found some medical files on everyone. It looks like they were all in for some pretty extensive diagnosed mental illnesses, medicated, some resistant, some not. And they were checked in different years, but they all disappeared the same day. One of them was actually witnessed to have entered the wall during group, but they all disappeared the same day. Only one witness. Another was moving around and went into a unmonitored hallway and just never came out. So different points of exit. Certainly there are some themes on the medical documentation, artwork that we're going to check out, featuring themes of spirals, like the night manager telling us we're in a vortex, documents of diagrams of corridors, were being drawn. People were being painted with Victorian clothes, but wearing masks. A variety of different imagery, but imagery we've seen before, unfortunately. One referenced a figure that, a hallucination named Camille, and Miranda found a pretty disturbing website about Camille. If this is linked, I don't know, but it's a fairly disturbing link to the outside world of the existence of some Camille figure who's worthy of devotion. But yeah, they pretty standard stuff. People with pretty extreme experience extreme trauma and are coping with it in a variety of different ways. Nothing I would not expect, but just a lot of stuff that connects back to what we're doing and what we did 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess the next step would just be to go all look at the Dorchester. That's fine.
But we do have a card to play. I think Meridian has a point that if it gets weird, we have an address. We have an address that connects us to Exeter too.
Yeah,
Something to hold
sure.
on to.
Look, we need to be fucking careful with that, okay? We're going to the Dorchester. That's what we talked
Dorchester.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the address to Exeter is just something to keep in mind,
Keeping it in our back pocket. All right, cool.
just in case.
Okay.
Security's flimsy over there. Nice uniforms. I don't think this guy breaks a sweat in it. The infrastructure plays more of a security than the people inside either. So that would explain sometimes mysterious disappearances. They probably have shitty footage, cameras and stuff. We could go in and out. Either nobody sees us or they barely see us. Doesn't even matter what time of day we go.
I mean, I don't know if our object here is to sneak in.
No, we have a friendly inside.
We just
Yeah.
go in and,
Right.
we should go in under whatever pretense is going to give us the most access.
Right. But it's good to know that if we need to, again, just all the doors need to be unlocked, even if we don't take them.
Yeah.
Well, it helps that we've got a doctor in our number, so that's not even a credible reason to be there. That's just the reason most people are going to be there. So,
I'll do whatever I need to do to get us all the information we need.
Yep.
And then it's just take photos and, right? Sure.
Meridian and Mill as your guards, your big shot from, why not, pick an organization, and then I'll be your secretary. Keeps things simple.
Yeah, you begin your walk over there. Yeah, something about it doesn't really feel very nice. It feels kind of like a death march. You're not really sure why it feels like a death march. You're certainly not walking anywhere that's even, you have no inkling of it being, troublesome or evil or whatever, but maybe it's just being together again. The emotion that you felt last was, doom? I don't know, but too theatrical, not like a play or anything. When you get there, the guard is a little bit surprised to see 4 people walking on foot. He comes out of the guard shack and is standing there. He's got some crumbs on his shirt. Like I say, very portly, older white man. He's got a gun that you'd guess probably has some dust on it. He greets you and asks your business.
Hi, I'm here to consult with Dr. Dallin. He's expecting us. I'm from the Center for Forensic Psychiatry.
He nods his head and goes in and grabs a clipboard and looks down, runs his finger down the list, and he gives you a very polite, "Oh, of course, I see you've got an appointment. He's waiting on you." And he goes over and he begins to lift the gate, but he's like, I think the safest way is the quickest way is just to go right through on the side there. Just quickest way out or in, just through that side. And he's like a small little section of the gate that's not, or the arm doesn't cover. You can just walk through.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course. And you walk past and down up the little asphalt driveway up to what you think are the front doors. You make it there, and all looks well and stately and calm and, like I say, very clean, very sterile, very good outward appearance. And as you pry open the doors, they give some squeaky retort, but not much. And you see inside what is, very, very what you expected. Nice white tile floors, There's a very nice kind of like muted pearl or something on the walls that is all very clinical feeling, all very sterile. It's got this very hospital-esque thing going on. There's a very kind-looking woman at the front desk. There's a little like a kind of a reception desk area, and you can see that the first floor. You gather there's probably 3 above ground. The first floor is a bit more sectioned off. You've got hallways and rooms, and not very much. There's like a day room that's toward the middle that does have some glass, but people that are in there are like doing things that you would assume that this is the lowest, quote unquote, lowest level of security. There's some folks that are like actively playing cards. They've got some poker chips that they're using. There are folks that are painting and have the implements to do so. Even one guy seems to be like doing like a graphite drawing, so he's got like a nice tool of tools to do that, or sorry, a nice tray rather of tools to do that. The woman at the desk says hello. Older lady with some nice gray hair that's in a bob. She's clearly got a lot of time and service. Her scrubs, they're stained, but not. She's not disgusting looking. They've lived. The scrubs have lived a long, long time, and they've got little puppies on them as well. She introduced herself as Gail. Oh, hello, I'm Gail. I'm one of the nurses here. You folks are for Dr. Dallin, is that right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, good. And she looks down at a book. She crosses something off the list you assume is your appointment, and then she brings you to a stairwell and up some stairs. She turns back around and gives you a blue key card. She says that this will let you into the majority of the Dorchester house while you're here. She'll grab it back from when you leave. Obviously, you can't go in any secured, rooms or areas that are, like patients' rooms. You can't get into. You can't get in any offices. But as far as like the stairwell, the elevators or key card access, the common areas, the bathrooms, these cards let you in there. So conceivably, you could go in and be around the common areas and not need any assistance getting around.
Are the rooms from the 5 individuals for whom we were consulting, are those rooms preserved, or have they been taken by new patients?
Well, we've unfortunately had to fill them with patients. I think one is still available. I'm fairly sure. I think that Stanley. It was Stanley. Yeah, Stanley Harrison. I believe he was on the first floor, and we don't tend to do a lot of switching, downgrading. The third floor is the most secure, and the second is the middle of the two. So we don't tend to do a lot of downgrading from 2 to 1 or from 3 to 1. Certainly not. So I believe his room is still open, but the others were on 2 and 3, and no, theirs were taken pretty quickly afterward. Yeah.
Would that room be accessible to us?
Yeah, I think so. I'll just bring you to Dr. Dallin, but I think so. It should be fine. Yeah, the first floor is a lot more lax. You understand?
Yeah.
I mean,
just please do me a favor and secure the room to the extent possible.
Oh, okay, sure. I can do that. She takes a little notebook out. Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Dr. Dallin's on the 3rd floor, so when you walk out, sometimes things are a little bit tumultuous, a little bit active on the 3rd floor, and a lot more glass. So I would say, a lot more plexiglass. So I'd say, don't do a lot of staring if you don't. I'm not sure how old. You said you're a doctor, but just
I'm a forensic psychiatrist.
Oh, great. Okay, well then you might have. I bet you have a fantastic idea of how these kinds of places operate. Sometimes don't look at too many folks. Plenty of orderlies to help keep the peace, but we don't want to instigate. Accidentally, or intentionally. Of course, we never would do that. So,
of course. Thank you for the reminder. It's always good for beer.
Of course, no problem. The elevator doors open on the 3rd floor, and in front you see that there is the majority of the floor is common area. There's kind of a ring or a rectangle around a huge glass fishbowl. You assume that everybody or the majority of the people that are on the 3rd floor are in the common area. They're all in this. There's probably, I'd say, I don't know, between 10 and 20 or so people that are all in the common area on the 3rd floor. It all feels very much like you're kind of like watching a movie. There are orderlies walking around correcting people. People are shouting, and it all just feels very much like it has to be fake. Like this just has to be a place that doesn't actually exist like this every day, but in fact it does. And to the credit of the staff, no one's like, no one's having their head caved in, like there's no fights, like they're keeping the order as best they can. And there's not a lot of heavy-handedness either. It seems like most of them are pretty gentle and helping and redirecting. The rectangle around the common area is where all their rooms are. There are doors in this little hallway that you assume they go to their rooms there that way. Gail, she brings you to Dr. Dallon's room, or his office. You see there's a nice placard on the door, Dr. Richard Dallon. The door has been modified for what you assume is security reasons. There's a latch guard. It's a heavily modified door. Been beat on enough times that they don't want to let anybody get through there. Uses her key card, scans the little key card at the back, the reader on the door frame. Okay, great. Well, enjoy. He's a great man. Very, very good to talk to. You as she goes and back to the elevator and to get in, the orderlies are kind of helping an unruly patient, and they're saying, "Get them in the starfish. Get the starfish," which seems to be kind of like a 5-pointed restraint that they're utilizing for this patient who's having a pretty serious incident, screaming, shouting, seems to be aimlessly hitting at people and whatever. And while they're kind of subduing this person, another of these people, one of the patients, slips out the door and runs down the hall and is about halfway between the elevator and Dr. Dallon's office where you are. You think for a moment you may have to redirect or like step out of the way or do something to defend yourself, but he stops. He stops midway down the hall. He has this very furtive, very almost like he's on a mission look in his eyeballs. He's just stopped there and he's breathing heavily, and you see that he's got his jumper he's wearing has like a little a name tape on it that looks to be stitched. It says WIST, W-I-S-T. The orderlies see him and they're running after him, and the nurse that just got in the elevator, Gail, she stops the door and runs out of the elevator toward him. He reaches in his back pocket and he pulls out a folded paper airplane and he throws it down the hall toward the group of you just before he's tackled by the orderlies and the nurse. And they didn't really seem to see they may have seen the airplane, but they don't. They focus on getting him back to the area where he's most secure. And he's not fighting him. When he gets up, he just smiles, looking at you, but even more when he turns away, you can still see from like the back of his head that he's got this kind of painted on smile. You can see that, just kind of by his ears, you can see his smile is still stretched there as he's turned and walked back into the little common area. The paper airplane skids to a halt at your feet. Looks to be a very small piece of paper, maybe from like a notepad or something like that.
It says, "How did you find me? I thought you had left. In any case, they are still here at night."
Hand drawn poorly, as if a 5-year-old wrote it rather.
Wrinkle that up and put the paper in my pocket.
Oh, hello. Oh, good to meet you all. And you're the experts. Fantastic. Yes. Come on in. Please.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Dr. Dallon looks like I think the best word is trustworthy. A skilled doctor in his field. He got kind of a short gray beard, black scholarly looking glasses, and a nicely trimmed graying haircut. He's got really nice blue eyes that seem to go farther and farther the longer you look at him, and appears to be in decent shape for his age. And he's wearing a doctor's coat that he's got cuffed at the sleeve. His office is facing east. It's got this very nice sweeping view of the Neponset River, which is this kind of like, very idyllic looking river. This is a classic English like study with a wooden floor and a nice like a big stone fireplace as well. It's not lit currently. And Dallon's pretty big. So, Dallon's like, I'd say over 6'5". He's a pretty big boy. But, getting good shape, very lanky. His desk looks, like comically small, basically. He's got this, just a little bit bigger than a writing desk. Looks to be, antique. These ceiling high shelves of books just all over his office, everywhere. And then at one corner of the room, there's this very large, like framed big print or something like that has a little coffee table under it, a nice little like coaster. Dallin goes over and sits down behind his desk, almost as like a a coach about to brief the team on what's our plan? He's kind of got that thing going on where he's leaned back in his chair a little bit. He's got a cup of coffee he's got in his hand that appears to be freshly poured. I would assume that each of you sit down. Maybe one of you does not sit down and goes to view that scroll in the corner.
That's immediately what I was going to do. I was going to let the doctor take the lead and mosey on over to the interesting stuff on the wall.
I'm just going to take notes.
That sounds good.
Dr. Dallin, it's really nice to meet you here. Listen, we don't want to take up a ton of your time. We want to talk a little bit, of course, about the disappearance, how that happened, and also, honestly, I just want all the files you have. If they worked on art therapy, I want to see the paintings. If they worked on music therapy, I want to know what songs. Literally, do not leave anything out. We are obsessive in our details.
Right.
Everything. And our security expert here probably has some questions for you about how there could have been a disappearance. And it wants to ask some questions about security. But for me, I mostly just want everything you have in case files.
Well, I hate to say that, because of the nature of these patients, their files are quite thin. We conducted a pull of the data of their clinical data that we had. We sent it over to someone, and it came back redacted the way that it did. I can grab that for you if you'd like. It's not much. Their admittance, a bit about their they did here.
I'm more interested in things that of course I want to see those. Even with redactions, we'll take what we can get. But really, everything that they generated, if they wrote in a journal, if they made paintings, wrote poetry, songs, anything they created, it's really important to us that we see what they generated so that we can provide our own analysis.
Look, I don't mean to disappoint you, but we got a call, I'd say not very long after they were reported missing. I'd say about the day after that, and we were told to totally remove and gut anything that was related to them in any way, shape, or form. They were very clear. I think that they were folks with whomever it is you're associated. I don't know what the group, whatever it's called, but
of course, the center.
They were very clear about the fact that we were to burn things if we had to. I mean, it was they talked about an info hazard, a cognito hazard, and so they said we don't want to burn the whole building down, obviously, and so we did what we had to do. We took things out back and we burned them if they were in any way related to the patients.
Reed will take a moment from looking at this scroll or parchment or whatever it is that seems to be in Latin, and kind of sidle over to where this conversation is happening. Hey, well, I appreciate your help. Do you think that we'd be able to get access to the room that is available to look at and preserved in the condition that it was in? And as he's saying that, he's kind of grabbing Shoemaker by the shoulder and just sort of like directing his attention over to the thing.
Go, Latin boy. Yeah, good. Okay, that sounds.
Shoemaker, being no stranger to subtlety, will look over and see the scroll and kind of wander over, a little disappointed that he's not getting the data he wants. And wander over to the scroll and start to read.
Yeah. Okay, got it. Very clearly, it's a print. By the way, it's blown all the way up. There's no chance that this was as big as it was wherever it existed. As a note. Yeah. Well, I'm sure we could give you access. I will say that it kind of like a hornet's nest at night. It tends to be quite a bit less active. So you may want to return a little later. And at that point, you'll have much more of an opportunity to ask questions of those you wish to ask questions of, be around safely. A lot less work up for our staff as well to have to manage. So that might be the better route.
Like later tonight?
Sure, if you'd like. Yeah, I mean, I certainly the urgency is important. I think that these people getting away, we should find them as soon as we can. So I'm more than happy to make those accommodations this evening.
That'd be great. Yeah, maybe we can all go. Me and my colleagues can go grab some food and then come back a little bit later.
Of course. Yeah, naturally. That'd be fine. There's a really great place.
Wait, what the hell is this?
Dallin looks at you. It's a bit of...
No.
From a...
What's this from?
It's an antique that I found and appreciate the Latin. I don't even really know what it says, to be honest with you. Is it important?
No.
People...
You can't have this. You don't.
Right.
You're telling me you don't know what it says.
I'll admit I just got it to look studious. I like the...
Because it makes you look smart?
Doing?
What do you care about arcs?
Nothing. I'm not even a Christian. I have no friends named Noah. I don't know. Are you okay?
We're gonna come back later. We're not coming back here. How did you get this?
Got it in an antique store in Maine. I'm visiting my mom. I think the store's closed. It was 10 years ago. Maybe 12.
10 years ago?
Think. I mean, it was a long time. 12, maybe 15. I really don't know. Is it that important to you? I mean, are you?
No,
I think maybe it'd be something we can talk about later.
Yeah.
Maybe get some food in our stomachs and.
That's a good idea. Sorry, I reminded me of an old case. Yeah, we need. I think we need to go.
In the water closet.
My colleague here, I think he's got low blood sugar moment. He can sometimes get a little.
Sure, no, sure.
Irritated.
Certainly,
Yeah.
take care.
We're real sorry.
Sorry.
Yes.
Reminds me of an old case. We'll get some food. I'll come back. I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
No worries. Wouldn't want you to become a patient.
Yeah.
Of course, certainly. All right. Well, be well.
Shoemaker goes out the door. No handshake, nothing professional, just walks out the door. While going through the door, tears a piece of the corner of the paper airplane and slides it into his mouth, acting like he's, wiping his face off or something, and just goes down the hall, chewing on that paper airplane, absolutely horrified by what he read.
It feels like everybody in the fishbowl has stopped what they're doing. No one is acting up. Nobody's shouting or carrying on. It really seems like everybody's just stopped and staring at you. If you ask any other agents in the area right now, they would say that's just not true. But to you, you're on the stage and the audience is here.
So watching everyone watch him chew a piece of paper like it's gum, Alexander will stand outside the office, just slowly turn around and watch into the through the open doors as colleagues follow out, possibly concerned, possibly angry, and the words from the text echo through his head. We guard the thing that forgets its own shape. They call it the Ark, but it has no sail, no anchor, no crew. Only guardians. My Legion brothers, their armor now grafted into their flesh, their faces erased by watchfulness. They are not spirits. They are not demons. They are centurions of a lost Rome, doomed to patrol a ship adrift on the cloud waves of Lake Holly. I have seen it in dream. I have seen it in waking. And in his head, over and over again echoes, they call it the Ark. They call it the Ark. Call it the Ark.
We'll find out more about what's in that piece of parchment next week. Sorry, I got goosebumps. I had a hard time talking there, folks. Next week we pick up and we'll hear all about what's on that paper. Whew, that's good.
Good times, y'all. Can't wait to lose more sanity next time.
Thank you, Sanity Sponge.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm now at the 50-50 point.
Damn.
I'm a coin flip of failure. And that's not even me being mean to myself. That's not even self-deprecating.
Can we name the episode? Well, I don't know. Coin flip of failure. Good, but the Ark is pretty good.
Simply roll well, IMO.
Yeah.
Just stop rolling bad. Duh.
Is it not terrible that like every roll I've been making has been like success? I did fail the occult roll, but that's a 10. You're never going to get that. But it's like success. Oh, roll sand. Fail.
I'm only 5 behind you.
Yep.
Not far.
Well, you're also building models and burning them in the bathroom. Like
Yeah,
Normal
this is
behavior.
So I'm just doing normal shit.
Yeah.
God forbid a guy have hobbies, you know?
I'm sorry.
Damn. Guys,
A man of your age should be smoking meat or watching World War II documentaries.
Nothing else is acceptable.
Rebuilding a car in your garage. Yeah, come on, dude. Before we sign off, I want to take a moment to talk about something very close to my heart. This podcast is about exploring darkness and fear, but in real life, those feelings can be overwhelming. I want to remind you that if you're feeling lost, lonely, or struggling, you don't have to face it alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're in the U.S., you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, for free, confidential support 24/7. Wherever you are, there are resources and there is hope. You matter and your story matters.